The Toronto Raptors and OG Anunoby have been in so many trade rumors to go in the season, and OG has been by far probably the biggest name outside of Kyrie Irving in this trade kind of season so far. And right now, OG Anunoby is probably one of the more underrated players in the entire NBA, as he is one of the best 3-and-D, not even 3-and-D, just kind of two-way players in the entire NBA when it comes to role player level two-way players, because he is legitimately one of the best perimeter defenders in the entire NBA. He is 6'7" with a 7'2" wingspan. It gives him a ton of length to block shots, get in passing lanes, steal the ball. He can do so much, and he can legitimately switch onto the point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and even sometimes power forwards at a very comfortable level due to how good he is on defense, and that makes him a very versatile player on that side of the ball. And versatility is such a big deal in today's NBA. With all the pick and rolls and screens, you have to be able to switch on to different positions, and that is exactly what OG Anunoby provides you on that defensive side of the ball. And he does all this while being an elite defender, but also while being a very respectable offensive player, as he is currently averaging 16 points per game on 36% from the three-point line, and he is only 25 years old. So a young guy that is a very good two-way player and can also respectably shoot the three is a very coveted player, and that is why he has been such a big name on the trade block for so many different teams. So now I'm basically going to be getting into a few different scenarios for different teams that I think he would fit very well, and how I think that he could really change the direction of any team he is traded onto. The first scenario that I kind of want to get into is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Pelicans is because I think they're the most obvious one that would benefit greatly from having someone like OG on their team, as the Pelicans have a very versatile lineup how they already are when they are fully healthy. Brandon Ingram is a scorer that can score on anyone that is guarding him. He can also switch on a lot of people just due to how he's built. They have guys like Jose Alvarado, who's one of the best defensive bench players in the entire NBA. Dyson Daniels can switch on to anyone. Herb Jones is one of the best defenders as well, and they just really like having these long, versatile players that can do a lot of switching, and that is exactly what OG Anunoby would provide for this team, and he would be able to do it while also providing offense, because right now Jose is a solid offensive player at times, but it can be inconsistent, and Herb Jones has really struggled to shoot the three ball, and it really has been a almost non-factor on the offensive end so far. And really, in an ideal world, they would be able to move Herb Jones to the bench and move OG Anunoby into his starting spot, forming a starting lineup that would look a little something like CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, OG Anunoby, probably Larry Nance Jr., and Jonas Valanciunas, and that would be a very, very fun and good starting lineup, because now you're pretty much adding a Herb Jones-esque player while also getting legitimate three-point help and offensive help from that position as well, because although Herb Jones isn't a liability on offense, like I said, he has been very inconsistent on that side of the ball, despite being as good of a defender as he is. So if they're able to get Herb Jones moved to the bench, they would have one of the best defensive players in the entire NBA now coming off their bench with Jose Alvarado, and their depth would be even better than it already is. So I think overall OG Anunoby would really just help this team a lot, and even with the kind of health issues that he does, not that he has, but that this Pelicans team can have with Zion and Ingram being hurt sometimes, OG Anunoby might be able to pick up a little bit of that slack when they are missing games. So overall, I really think that he could help this Pelicans team out a ton, and he would definitely make them an even scarier team than they already are when fully healthy. And the second team I want to go into is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies, obviously, adding a versatile two-way player to this team would be something they love to do, but more importantly, I think it would add depth to this team, and they desperately need that, because their depth is not as good as most of these top-level teams. Yes, they have John Morant, who's a superstar, Jaren Jackson Jr., who's very good at what he does, and Dylan Brooks, who's very good at what he does, Desmond Bane, and all these other very solid players, but they don't really have a third guy or another guy that can really just add really solid depth to this team, and that is what OG could provide, because outside of Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr., yes, you have Dylan Brooks, who is very solid, Desmond Bane, who's a 20-point per game scorer, but they need another dude that can pretty much do it all, and like I said, that is exactly what OG Anunoby is going to be able to provide, while also helping out their biggest weakness, which is their depth spot, because when it comes around playoff time, a guy like Steven Adams gets used so much less than he does in the regular season, because teams basically play those traditional slower centers off of the court when it comes to the NBA playoffs, especially one like Steven Adams, who isn't capable of spreading the floor in any way or guarding the perimeter at all. So that is going to cause major matchup issues if they're not able to really replace Steven Adams, and adding someone like OG that's very versatile, can do anything, switch on to pretty much any position. That is going to help them a lot when those type of situations do come up in playoff time. And the last situation I want to get into, and probably the most intriguing in my opinion, would be the Denver Nuggets. And the Denver Nuggets right now, how they are already contenders, and that's obviously due to the fact that they have the two-time MVP working on his third, Nikola Jokic, who's an absolute beast, an all-star level point guard in Jamal Murray, and a three-point sniper in Michael Porter Jr. But if they were able to add someone that is as good on defense as OG Anunoby is, that would be a ginormous addition, because that is by far the biggest weakness of this Denver Nuggets team. They're an elite offense, but their defense, although improving slightly, is nowhere near where you would want it to be for a contending level team. And like I said, OG Anunoby, being one of the best perimeter defenders, would be doing exactly that. And then also he would be making it even easier for guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, because now you have to worry about one more guy on the offensive end in OG Anunoby and destroying you as well. Now he would probably be coming off the bench in this scenario, because I would imagine Michael Porter Jr. would continue to start. He wouldn't replace Aaron Gordon. Obviously he's not replacing Jokic or Murray, and I think that they would like to keep Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in the starting lineup as well. Now they could move KCP to the bench, but I think OG would probably be coming off the bench as an energy guy and as one of the best six-man, if not the best six-man in the entire NBA if he went to the Denver Nuggets. So I think they could use him in different ways, and I think he could help this team in a very, very many different ways. And I think if he did go to the Nuggets, they'd become the instant favorites to come out of the West, and I think they could legitimately beat any team in a 7-game series as well. And really overall, I think no matter where OG gets traded, he can legitimately have an impact on any team that he is on, and he could greatly kind of swing the needle when it comes to the hierarchy of NBA standings and which teams are the finals favorites and which teams aren't. That's how good I think OG Anunoby is. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be for this video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think that the OG Anunoby trade could be huge for any teams? I want your thoughts in the comment section below, where you think he's going to go, where do you think he's going to get traded? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe button. It mean the absolute world to me, and I hope you have a blessed day, because I have a blessed day. So you have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.